Hi everyone, today we're going to look at decimal multiplication. So recall that when we did multiplication, for example, 5 times 1, we get 5. 5 times 10, we got 50. And notice that there's a decimal point after the 5 that we don't put, and we can use this to figure out something today. So 5 times 10 is like 5 and moving the decimal point one time because there's 1 0 with the 10. And then 5 times 100 is like moving the decimal point 2 times this time because of the 2 zeros. And we get 500. And 5 times 1,000, very similar process. It's like moving the decimal point 3 times because of the 3 zeros. 5,000. Today we're going to look at decimals, so it's on the other side. Numbers that get smaller. So when we multiply by bigger numbers, we move the decimal point to the right. So let's have a look at the next example. So 5 times 0.1. So this time we want to get smaller. And to get smaller, which way would we move the decimal point? If we move that way once, we will get 50. So we need to move that way to get a little bit smaller, because 5 times 0.1 is 0.5. Let's have a think about where we moved the decimal point. So we started with 5 with the decimal point there, and we moved it to the left this time to get 0.5. What about when we multiply 5 times 0.01? Well, in this case, we have to move the decimal point 2 times because there's 2 numbers behind the decimal point. So our answer is 0.05. What about 5 times 0.001? I think you know the pattern now. 0.005. So there's 3 numbers behind the decimal point. So previously, when you multiply by 10, hundreds, thousand, you move the decimal point to the right by adding zeros, and you made the number bigger. And today, we're looking at decimals, which means we're looking at smaller values and moving the decimal point to the left instead. Let's do 0.34 times 0.02. First of all, we have to figure out how many numbers behind the decimal point. There's 3, 4, the 0, and the 2. So there's 4. Keep that in mind. And then all we have to do is multiply like normal. So 34 times 2, and then we'll move the decimal point afterwards. So 34 times 2 is 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 3 is 6. 68. Now we have to move the decimal point 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave the decimal point there and fill the rest with zeros, like so. Let's do another example. 0.032 times 40. This is 0, the 3, and the 2. So there's 3 numbers behind the decimal point this time. So we do the multiplication like normal, 32 times 40. And we know to do 32 times 40 is the same as 32 times 4, and then add the 0. So 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, and then add 0 because we're multiplying by 40. And then we count the 3 decimal points. 1, 2, 3. And you leave the decimal point there. So the answer is 1.28. You might not want to do this. You can just work it out over there and then move the decimal point after. So to recap, step 1, count how many digits are behind the decimal point or to the right of the decimal point. Step 2, multiply as per usual. And then step 3, move the decimal point accordingly to the left. And check. If you accidentally moved it to the right, you would know because your number becomes huge. That's it from me today. See you next time.